Jr., but nobody's any better at this than you are.
Have fun, take a deep breath.
Give him hell at the end. Good luck to you.
Fight like hell like we do every week. You are the best here.
Brett, be affirmative.
You told me to get on.
Info. Ready. Ready. Slow. Green, green, green. Lock it down, lock it down.
I'm destroyed, and I just got drove through like 6 times on the 14th. What the f*** is he thinking? That is the stupidest thing I've seen in my career. Literally.
Everything you described is accurate. Haven't even finished the second stage yet. Half the field's wrecked.
Hell yeah!
11 got it. Proud of you there, Matt. Good job, pal. Thanks, man. Good job all day. Great work, my man. Great work.
Keep putting yourself in position, we'll win our share, right? We got one back today, brother. Good job.
10-4, great job, guys.
And welcome back to Racing in the Draft. My name is Mark, and welcome to round 2 of Pocono, the Tricky Triangle. Yesterday was quite exciting. Fairly short race in the world of Cup racing, only racing 130 laps, but the end, if you have not seen it, was extremely exciting. My poor guy finally got around Alex Bowman, and then entering the final turn, blew a right front tire. So disappointing, but he still has a ton of top 10 finishes and wins and everything else, so not too bad. But in the end, it helped out my DraftKings, and I did do some slight gambling, and that paid off when he fell to 9th. So, without further ado, let's take a look at some of the results from the Pocono Organics 325 CBD. Oh, hopefully you guys made some money if you decided to do some DraftKings on that race. I ended up doing fairly well if you were watching the video at the beginning. It turned out to be a decent race for me. And the optimal lineups from Pocono 1, Bubba Wallace finally making his first appearance on the optimal lineups. It seems like Bubba Wallace's good luck charm is Michael Jordan. His first top 15 on a road course came at Sonoma when Michael Jordan showed up, and his first top 15 at Pocono showed up yesterday when Michael Jordan showed up. So, I don't know if Michael Jordan will be there today or not, but it seems to help Bubba with his racing to have the big man there. So Alex Bowman ended up getting the optimal lineup over Kyle Larson with that first place finish and starting 13th. So we had it was kind of a mixed bag, being a shorter race. And it was kind of like what I expected. We didn't really have a dominant person this weekend, or at the first Pocono race. But, you know, Kyle Busch did probably, if you were going to call it an optimal lineup or a dominator, leading 30 laps and only moving up 3 place positions. So a dominator slash finishing position is how I would probably call it. But, you know, 298 points, not a whole lot, but that's what you get when you have fewer laps. But Daniel Suarez also making that optimal lineup. He is now taking the lead in the optimal lineup tournament for the year with 8. All right, let's take a look at Pocono real quick. We are Explore the Pocono Mountains 350 at Pocono Raceway. As we discussed in the last video just a day or so ago, the track type is a super speedway, but not a restrictor plate speedway. Track length is 2.5 miles, only 14 degrees in turn 1, 8 degrees turn 2, and 6 degrees in turn 3. So very flat track. Race length is 140 laps, so 10 laps more than it was yesterday. Dominator points will still not be as crucial, even though I think you will need to probably have one of the Dominators. But we'll go into that breakdown after we do driver by driver. So Dominator total points is 98, laps led 35, fast laps 63. All right. So, hey, do me a favor real quick. Make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe if you enjoy the content that I'm putting out and it's helping you construct better DraftKings lineups. And if you know anybody else that may enjoy it, make sure you hit that share button. Thanks, I appreciate it. Let's get into it. DraftKings, top of the heap again. Kyle Larson, no surprise there. Even though he didn't finish first yesterday, he was probably one of the more dominant cars. Let's get into his pricing. $12,800. Because of his 9th place finish, he will be starting 12th today. Number 1 in the power ranking. His race count doesn't change any, so still just 3 with 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, 2 top 20s, a 39.3 DraftKings average, and a 13.3 average finish. He did finish 9th yesterday, so a total of 13 trips to Pocono, 3 top 5s, 7 top 10s, and 10 top 20s. Pricing changes up a little bit for round 2 at Pocono. Kyle Busch being the second highest priced driver. And they actually made this pricing. It's kind of unusual, and I found it quite accurate that they were able to get pricing the way they did, because they put the pricing out on Thursday for this second race, and they moved people up and down pretty accordingly to how they raced. So those guys know what they're doing, don't they? But Kyle Busch, $11,000, starting 19th after finishing 2nd yesterday. So they inverted the top 20. So if you finished 20th, you got the pole position. If you finished 1st, you went back to the 20th position. Anything beyond 20th, you kept your finishing position as your starting position. All right, so Kyle Busch, 11,000, starting 19th. Power ranking 4 for today's race. Has 1 win in the last 5, 3 top 5s, 4 top 10s, and 4 top 20s. A 46.4 DraftKings average, 11th place average finish. He finished 2nd here yesterday, and out of his 33 total starts, has 3 wins, 10 top 5s, 17 top 10s, and 21 top 20s. All right, next in line, Martin Truex Jr., 10,800, starting 3rd after his 18th place finish yesterday. That's still struggling Martin. He's not the same racer that we saw at the beginning of the year, where he was running top 3 and having 3 wins. I still think he and his team are doing some things with the car to try to set him up for a playoff run, but there is something about momentum in this sport, and they need to probably start shifting that momentum back to their earlier form. Or maybe they just really are having an issue over at Joe Gibbs, because Denny Hamlin's kind of the same boat. Denny Hamlin's does not have a win, so he is not secured, even though he probably will have no problem getting in on points. But if anybody watched, Kyle Busch definitely talked about the engineering and aerodynamics of the Joe Gibbs cars not being as good as the Hendrick cars and some of the other cars in the field. So maybe there is an issue going on with the Toyotas and Joe Gibbs, but I think they're just kind of setting themselves up for a playoff run. Just my opinion. But Martin Truex Jr. has a 1 top 5, 3 top 10s, and 4 top 20s, 29.8 DraftKings average, and a 14.4 average finish. He has raced now 31 times at the Tricky Triangle with 2 wins, 6 top 5s, 13 top 10s, and 24 top 20s. Next in line, his teammate Denny Hamlin, 10,500, starting 17th after Denny's 4th place finish at the Tricky Triangle, power ranking of 6 for today's race. In the last 5, he does have 2 wins, 4 top 5s, 5 top 10s, and 5 top 20s, a 60.1 DraftKings average, and a 2.8 average finish. Pretty solid for Denny, but this is probably his best track, because he has started here 31 times, has 6 total wins, 14 top 10 or top 5s, 21 top 10s, and 25 top 20s out of 31 races. That's pretty solid. So with his starting position, he will have great PD upside, along with Kyle Busch. Chase Elliott, who had a incident literally coming to the green flag start of the race yesterday, ended up having to come in and get repairs and pitting, and just had a pretty tough day, but did end up battling back for a 12th place finish yesterday, giving him a 9th place starting spot. His pricing is $10,200 and has a power ranking of 9th for this weekend, or for today's race. Does not have any wins here at the Tricky Triangle, but does have in the last 5 races 2 top 5s, 2 top 10s, and 3 top 20s with a 28.0 DraftKings average and a 16.6 average finish. Chase has been here raced here 11 times, finished 12th, like I said, in yesterday's race, and his total record here is 3 top 5s, 7 top 10s, and 8 top 20s. All right, let's get into our next grouping here. Kevin Harvick, 10,000, will be starting 13th after his 7th place finish yesterday. Power ranking of 5 for today's race. Does have 1 win in the last 5, which came last year in the first race. 2 top 5s, 4 top 10s, and 4 top 20s, giving him a 49.3 DraftKings average and a 7.8 average finish. Kevin has raced now at Pocono 41 times with that 1 win, 14 top 5s, 21 top 10s, and 37 top 20s. Next in line, Joey Logano, 9,700. Joey will be starting 14th today after finishing 6th yesterday. 10th on the power ranking, does not have a win in the last 5 starts here, and only 2 top 10s and 3 top 20s with a 24.3 DraftKings average and a 17.4 average finish in his last 5 starts. Joey has raced at Pocono 25 different times with 1 win to his record and 4 top 5s, 9 top 10s, and 14 top 20s. His teammate next in line, Brad Keselowski, 9,500, starting 11th after Brad's 10th place finish. Power ranking of 8 for today's race. No wins in the last 5, with only 1 top 5, 4 top 10s, and 5 top 20s. Top 10s are pretty consistent for Brad. And if you didn't see the news, Brad is leaving Penske and headed to Roush Fenway to be part owner and driver over there. So big news this weekend coming out of Penske and Roush. So both of them are Ford camps, so not too big of a difference, and they actually share a lot of information. 42.9 DraftKings average, 8th place average finish in the last 5 races, and Brad has raced here 23 times with 1 win, 10 top 5s, 14 top 20s, and 19 top 20s. 14 top 10s and 19 top 20s. Next in line, Ryan Blaney, another Penske driver. They kind of grouped them all together here. So Ryan Blaney, 9,200, starting 16th after a top 5 5th place finish yesterday, 7th on the power ranking. In the last 5 races here at Pocono, has 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, 4 top 20s, 39.5 DraftKings average, and a 12.2 average finish. 11 times he has raced at the Tricky Triangle with 1 win to his record, 2 top 5s, 5 top 10s, and 8 top 20s. Alright, next in line, William Byron, $9,000, starting 18th after a top 3 finish for Mr. Byron, will be 3rd on the power ranking for today's race. Does not have any wins here at the Tricky Triangle. In his last 5 starts here, has 2 top 5s, 4 top 10s, and 5 top 20s with a 44.5 DraftKings average and a 7.4 average finish. He finished 3rd here yesterday and 7 total times at Pocono, has 2 top 5s, 5 top 10s, and 7 top 20s. Alright, our next grouping here is the man who took advantage of Kyle Larson's misfortune yesterday, Alex Bowman, winning the race. A great reason to show your kids to never give up, because you never know what's going to happen, especially in racing. So, Alex Bowman will be starting 20th. Rate PD upside, giving him a power ranking of 2 for today's race. Now does have 1 win in his last 5 starts, with that 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, and 4 top 20s, a 31.7 DraftKings average, and a 14.4 average finish. And out of his 11 total trips to Pocono, or races at Pocono, I guess this trip is all in one, but has that 1 win now, 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s, and 5 top 20s. Next in line, Kurt Busch, 8,500, starting 15th after a 6th place finish yesterday, 14th on the power ranking, and has 1 top 10, 4 top 20s, a 26.1 DraftKings average, and a 15th place average finish in the last 5 starts here. 40 separate races here at Pocono, with 3 total wins to his record, 14 top 5s, 21 top 10s, and 29 top 20s. Kurt will have decent PD upside here. There's a lot of great drivers with PD upside here. That's kind of the neat thing about these doubleheader weekends without disqualifying, is they invert that top 20. Christopher Bell coming in at 8,300, finishing 17th here yesterday, gives him a 4th place starting position. Being that far up gives him a 27 on the power ranking. I don't necessarily think we need to scrub him from all of our lineups, depending on how many lineups you do, but be a little careful with that starting lineup, and Christopher Bell still kind of getting used to everything, and also Joe Gibbs Racing, I think, kind of playing with their cars a little bit to see how they can make them better for the playoff. But he has a total of 3 starts here at Pocono, and has 1 top 5, 1 top 10, and 2 top 20s, a 23.5 DraftKings average, a 20.0 average finish. Like I said, finished 17th here yesterday, but out of the other 3 starts, it's the same. Matt DiBenedetto, Matty D, 8,100, starting 32nd. Matty D had kind of a tough day yesterday, but he gets a 32nd starting position, because that's where he finished, and that gives us the ability to possibly take advantage of lots of PD upside, because Matty D actually runs fairly well at Pocono with a 17th place average finish in his last 5, with a 25.3 DraftKings average. He has a power ranking of 11 today, and 11 total starts at the Tricky Triangle, with 1 top 10 and 4 top 20s. He's in better equipment, so the other stats that kind of drag him down were in not as great equipment. Chase Briscoe is next in line, 7,900, 24th on the starting grid today because of his 24th place finish yesterday, and 24th on the power ranking for today. He now has 1 start here, and because he finished outside the top 20, no top 20s. I do like his potential PD upside. Next in line, Ross Chastain, who was running extremely well at the beginning of the race, ended up getting caught up in some shenanigans and ended up finishing 33rd. So great PD upside here with Ross Chastain. Hopefully he can get back to the form that he was having at the beginning of the race yesterday and come from the rear of the field. Finished 33rd, giving him a 29th place average finish and 9.5 DraftKings average out of his last 3 starts here. So I would give Ross Chastain a look. Alright, next in line, Chris Buescher, 7,400, will be our pole sitter for today's race, finishing 20th yesterday. So finish 20th and get the pole. Seems a little strange, but hey, that's what it is. So Chris starting on the pole position definitely drops him down in the power rankings because, one, I don't like the pole position driver unless you happen to be Kyle Larson, or maybe a Kyle Busch, somebody that I know is going to finish in the top 3 and not lose a whole lot of PD points for us. But Chris Buescher's record in the last 5 races here at Pocono, 28.5 DraftKings average and a 19.2 average finish. So finished pretty much where his average is, 20th. One win was a fog and rain shortened race at Pocono with 1 top 5, 2 top 10s, and 7 top 20s out of his 11 starts. Next in line here, Daniel Suarez, 7,100, starting 8th with his 13th place finish here yesterday, 16th on the power ranking. In the last 5 races, Daniel Suarez has 1 top 10, 2 top 5s, 22.9 DraftKings average, and a 19.8 average finish. And his 9 total starts does have 1 top 5, 3 top 10s, and 5 top 20s. Tyler Reddick, next in line, 6,900, starting 10th after finishing 11th yesterday, getting him a whopping power ranking of 31, somebody I will be avoiding. That was his best finish yesterday of 10th. I mean, Tyler is starting to improve, but until he shows me more at Pocono, I'll be staying away. 1 top 20, 12.7 DraftKings average, and a 25.3 average finish, and 3 total starts here at the Tricky Triangle. Cole Custer, man, he is just, if there was, the kid has no luck, plain and simple. The only luck he has is bad luck. Wrecked again early yesterday. I would say really no fault of his own. He was trying to battle for position. Brad got into him, put him in the wall. Not Brad's fault necessarily either. It was just a racing incident. But man, Cole Custer just is having rotten luck this year. But great PD upside for us. I think he definitely finishes much better than 38th. I think he'll be much more cautious today to try to get a better finishing position. 2 top 20s, 13.7 DraftKings average, and a 23.7 average finish. Alright, next in line we've got Austin Dillon, 6,600, starting position of 21st with a finishing position yesterday of 21st. 17th on the power ranking. A little bit of PD upside here for Austin Dillon. 13.6 DraftKings average and a 22nd place average finish in his last 5 starts. 15 total starts here and has never finished inside the top 10, so giving him 11 top 20s. Next in line, Eric Almirola, 6,400, finished 16th. Not bad for Eric. Starting to improve his season. Stuart Haas starting to possibly turn a corner, even though Cole Custer would argue that fact. But he's got a 5th place starting position. Typically when Eric does start up front, his cars seem to perform a little bit better. So Eric has a 20th power ranking for today's race. 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s, and 5 top 20s. A 40.6 DraftKings average and a 9.2 average finish. Not a huge fan for PD upside of his starting position, but like I said, when Eric usually starts somewhere towards the front, he usually finishes somewhere towards the front. So keep an eye on Eric. I think he might be somebody worth having. He finished 16th here yesterday. 18 total starts at the Tricky Triangle, 2 top 5s, 4 top 10s, and 10 top 20s. Next in line, Bubba Wallace in that DraftKings car, 6,200, and like I said, one of his best finishes, at least at Pocono, and of this year, finishing 14th in front of his boss, MJ. 2 top 20s, a 25.2 DraftKings average, and a 19.8 average finish. Not a huge fan of his starting position. 8 total starts here at the Tricky Triangle and only 3 top 20s. Alright, next in line here, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., $6,000, after his 15th place finish yesterday, gives him a 6th place starting position, 28th on the power ranking, has in his last 5 starts at Pocono 14.1 DraftKings average and a 20th place average finish. 17 total times here, trips or races here at Pocono, and 10 top 20s. Nothing inside the top 10. Corey LaJoy, 5,900, starting 36th after finishing 36th, not 25th. And 18th on the power ranking. Does not have any top 20s, and a 13.9 DraftKings average and a 28.4 average finish. Has raced here 8 times. Alright, next in line, Justin Haley, 5,800, starting 27th after finishing 27th in his first attempt or race at Pocono. Kind of outkicking his coverage with the finishing position. Don't see any PD upside here, so 36th on the power ranking. Not much to talk about here. Let's go to the next. Eric Jones, 5,700, starting 22nd after finishing 22nd. Not a great day for Eric Jones, but hopefully he'll bounce back today. Has 3 top 5s, 3 top 10s, 3 top 20s at 34.9 DraftKings average and a 13.6 average finish. 13th on the power ranking. Has raced 9 times at Pocono with 5 top 5s, 6 top 10s, and 6 top 20s. Ryan Newman, 5,500, had a rough day yesterday, so that may be a benefit to us with PD upside. Starting 37th after finishing 37th. Has 4 top 20s in his last 5 attempts, 18.5 DraftKings average, and a 20th place average finish. Has raced at Pocono 39 times. Does have 1 win to his record with 9 top 5s, 15 top 20s, and 32 top 20s, 15 top 10s. Next in line, Michael McDowell, 5,400. Finished 19th, but is the lucky recipient of the outside pole, starting 2nd for today's race. 23rd on the power ranking. You typically like Michael, but he outkicked his coverage. So probably not going to have a whole lot of Michael McDowell for today's race. 22.3 DraftKings average and a 22.4 average finish. Has raced here 18 different times, 0 top 5s, 1 top 10, and 5 top 20s. Next in line, Ryan Preece, 5,300, starting 23rd after his 23rd place finish, 26th in the power ranking, 13.0 DraftKings average, and a 25.6 average finish in his last 5 attempts at Pocono. Has raced here 5 separate times and has 1 top 10 to his record and 4 top 20s. Anthony Alfredo pretty much finished where he started. He started 27th yesterday, finished 26th, so he gets the 26th place starting position. 5,200. Actually, I think he started 24th yesterday, so he did drop down 2 positions. 25th on the power ranking. Decent value here. Not sure he finishes much better than where he's starting, but he does give us some price relief, so this may be somebody we look at for price relief. 14.5 DraftKings average, 26th place average finish. James Davidson, 5,100, starting 28th after finishing 28th. Now has a 30.7 average finish in his 3 attempts here at Pocono with a 15.3 DraftKings average. Cody Ware, $5,000, outkicks his coverage for today's race, starting 25th, finishing, because he finished 25th, with a 27.0 DraftKings average. Yeah, stay away from Cody Ware, in my opinion. He's starting too high up. BJ McLeod, 4,900, starting 30th. 34.8 average finish, 6.1 DraftKings average. Not going near that one or this one. Josh Balicki, 4,800, starting 34th after his 34th place finish, 33.8 average finish. Garrett Smitley, 4,700, starting 29th, has outkicked his coverage. Won't be having any of Aaron either. Quinn Hoff, starting 31st at 4,600. Nope, don't like anything there either. Timmy Hill, 4,500, starting 35th. He didn't have any speed yesterday, but he kept his car clean. He did that on purpose. It's a low-funded team. He funds that team. Actually, I don't see much better position than 35th for Timmy Hill today. So, value drivers are going to be sparse today, but a lot of potential place differentials. So let's kind of look at this. We've got potential dominators. And we're really not going after dominators or focusing on dominators, but you're looking for somebody that's going to get up there, lead fast laps, and lead laps. Chase Elliott starting the closest to potentially do that would be at the top. Kyle Larson is my second dominator. Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch. Now let's really get to this place differential. Because of the way the starting grid is working for today, they literally are just going off of how they finished yesterday, except for the top 20 getting inverted. We've talked about that. But Matt DiBenedetto will be starting 32nd. Ross Chastain 33rd. Great PD upsides. Kyle Busch from 19th and Alex Bowman 20th. They were our first and second place finishers yesterday. I didn't put William Byron there. Where's William Byron? William Byron's starting 17th. So that's another really good PD upside, and he should finish easily in the top 5. So Cole Custer's going to be another one, starting last on the field, and Ryan Newman. Those two will also be really good PD upsides. This race, you could easily potentially look at a lineup that consists of Matt DiBenedetto, Ross Chastain, Cole Custer, Ryan Newman, Kyle Busch. I mean, literally those top 6 drivers, if they fit. I'm not sure it fits, but either way, something along those lines will maybe end up being something that will at least win you money, if not give you really high upside. Just because the lack of laps and lack of dominator points, PD upside is going to be very big. So definitely take a look at that. I'll be focusing in a lot on place differentials. So let's look at the optimal lineup. Again, this is from yesterday's race. There were 2 kind of dominators, but not really. We talked about that earlier. Mostly finishing positions and some PD upsides. I mean, Alex Bowman 13th to 1st, 27th to 5th for Ryan Blaney. Kyle Busch really was the one that was started up there and stayed up there. And then the rest of it's pricing with Bubba Wallace at 6,100, even though he finished 14th, ended up finishing well enough to get some decent points. And Daniel Suarez 14th to 13th, pretty much stayed where he was, but because of his pricing was made the optimal lineup. So really we're looking at a PD upside today. Kind of like if we look at this bottom chart here, because they did the same inversion type lineup. You know, Denny Hamlin 19th to 1st he did have some dominator points there, but really his PD upside was huge. Eric Jones 38th to 3rd. Chase Elliott 25th to 4th. Eric Almirola 18th to 5th, and Alex Bowman 27th tonight. That's going to be something very similar that we're going to see today. All right, also let's take a look. Bob Pockrass tweeted out yesterday late about which cars will be going to the rear because of major changes or going to backup cars. Yes, right now 7 cars to the rear for backups. Kyle Larson, Ryan Newman, who was already in the back, Corey LaJoie, which is already starting in the back, Preece, Alfredo, Custer, Chastain, all the cars that were pretty much going to be in the back of the pack, other than Kyle Larson, who had a 9th place finish and a 12th place starting position. He still will be scored with having the 12th place starting position, but will be going to the rear. Tech doesn't start until 11:30 tomorrow morning, so don't know if any tech failures until an hour before the race. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal if you end up going to the rear. Most of the guys that we would be interested in anyways are going to be starting from the rear anyways, but I just wanted to make sure that I shared that little bit of information, that there are a decent amount of cars who will have to drop back to the rear of the field, which will also move up some of those other drivers closer to the front. I don't think it changes much of my thought process and philosophy on who I will be taking today. It mostly will be most of the guys starting from the rear, other than maybe Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch. William Byron's already getting some PD upside from his 3rd place finish, so he's starting 17th. So just wanted to share that information. Hey, do me a favor, if you are enjoying this content, again, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, hit the little notification bell so you get notified when I post videos, and share it with anybody else that you think might be interested in learning more about DraftKings and, well, so I appreciate you tuning in for a second time this week, if this is your second time, and enjoy the race today. Looks like it's going to be a nice day to enjoy racing. F1's going on currently, then we've got Xfinity at 12, and there's a Indy race at some point today also, and then Pocono. There's a lot of racing going on today, but I'm mostly concerned with the Cup race. Have a great weekend. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we will see you next week. Thanks. Bye.
Get a good deep breath. Get ready to roll here. Only about one thing tonight, getting the W's, so got to be around at the end to do that. Get ready to roll tonight, boys. Let's go have some fun.
Don't get me any more fired up than I already am.
All the way to the checkered. You're fine. Nobody's got to run. Checker time, baby!
Hell yeah!
Proud of you there, Matt. Good job, pal. Thanks, man. Good job all day. Great work, my man. Great work.
Keep putting yourself in position, we'll win our share, right? We got one back today, brother. Good job.
10-4, great job, guys. Excellent work, my man. Excellent work. Thank you.
Man, that's awesome. Set out with a goal, we got it here, bud. Thank you very much.
Really proud of you, man. Drove your butt off tonight. We had the fastest car here, bud.
Probably killed our deal there. Just feel like I gave one away. Yeah, boys! Way to rebound! Great job!
Great job, bud. Really good job. Appreciate you hanging in there with us all weekend.
What a weekend. Good job. Thank you.